Questions, right? For me, I'm involved in this through natural science. Do you know what natural science is? Do you know what natural science?
Not really, no.
Natural science for me is basically, observing and testing the natural world that we live in.
Uh-huh.
Any claims that are made about reality should be testable, observable and repeatable. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah, you would think that's what real science was.
Uh-huh.
Do you agree as well?
Yeah, I agree, yeah.
Right, so I'll get straight to the question. Do you both believe that you live on a globe?
Yeah.
You believe you live on a globe?
Yeah.
Can I ask you one at a time why? What would be your number one proof that you lived on a globe?
I don't know, I think just because from a young age we've all been kind of taught that.
Yep, great,
So
great response. So
yeah.
that's for you, that's your reason?
I think everybody else speaks about it like that as well, though. There's not
Yeah.
really much else that
Yeah.
speaks about it differently.
So you were taught it from nursery school,
Yeah.
and you carried on through life, and they showed you plastic globes, and everybody just believed it.
Yeah.
So going back to natural science again, do you know water? Like liquids.
Uh-huh.
Do you understand how they behave?
Not really.
Well, when you get up in the morning, you have a glass of water or a
Yeah.
cup of tea.
Yeah.
So you know that the liquid you have to have it in your cup,
Uh-huh.
or a bowl, or a bath. So you know that then the water has to be contained within something, and the surface will always be flat, just like the pond over there. So you know that, and you understand that. That's based on common sense, natural, science, real reality. So by knowing that, do you still think you live on a globe?
Yeah.
You still do?
Uh-huh.
I don't know.
You don't know?
It's whether
Something else. You know that NASA and they'll tell you that you live on a globe and that space is a vacuum.
Uh-huh.
Now we know that that's a negative pressure system and we live in a positive pressure system. So in reality, again, when we test and observe and repeat, we find that two opposing pressure systems require a solid barrier between the two of them. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Do you understand that?
Yeah.
So like your aerosol cans, like your deodorant and stuff, if it didn't have the metal casing, you'd have equilibrium, which basically means it would go to the pressure of the environment that you're living in. Now we know that's reality. So do you still think that it's reality that there's a vacuum and a positive pressure system side by side without a barrier between them? You still believe that?
Uh-huh.
Although it's not what we test and observe in reality?
We still live on a globe.
You still live in a globe?
Uh-huh.
What about yourself?
I don't know now. I'm starting to change. I would still say a globe, yeah, but
So,
I
you understand that it is a belief.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. As any other religion.
Yeah.
Because right now I'm asking you, and you don't know why you believe it. And then I'm telling you that observable, testable reality tells you something totally different, but people still choose to believe it. Do you know why? I mean, is it just because it's easier, or?
I think so. I don't know,
Do you think it was important to know where you're living?
Yeah, but I just don't know, where would we live if we didn't live on a globe? Like what?
Well, this is why guys like us do what we do,
Yeah.
because we want to know just as much as anybody else.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we don't know the full dimensions. We know beyond a shadow of a doubt that it's not a globe.
Okay.
Right? Do you know like NASA, the space agencies and stuff, recently in the last few years they're saying things like, oh, we hope to achieve, to go past low Earth orbit, which is where they say their International Space Station is in low Earth orbit. Now, in the 1960s they said they went to the moon. Right? The reason NASA's saying that they're hoping to achieve past low Earth orbit is because of a thing called the Van Allen radiation belts, which is a belt of radiation that's 25,000 miles thick, according to them. Now, they know that they can't penetrate that and they can't go beyond it, but yet they told us they went to the moon in the 1960s. Do you believe they went to the moon?
I don't know. I don't think they did.
You don't think they did?
No.
What about yourself?
I'd have always thought they did go to the moon. Yeah.
You always thought they did, but yet again, based on TV,
So everybody talking about it again.
school,
social
media,
media.
but no actual proof.
No.
You know? But yet they're falsifying it themselves by saying that they can't achieve that today. But it's a wee bit suspicious. For people like me, the whole reason that they done going to the moon was so that they could kid on that the Earth was a globe. Without that one image, nobody would believe it. Now again, you know, everything we test and observe in reality tells us that it's not a globe. You know, you've flown before. You know, you understand that it's called an aeroplane. So at the end of that is aeroplane. It's called an aerosphere. It's fitted with a thing called a gyroscope, which keeps it parallel with the Earth below it. Right? When they work on a globe, you know, if you started to go over. Have you ever been on a plane where the nose has been dipped in, as it accounts for the curvature of the Earth? Have you? Oh, you've never noticed that. Have you looked out the window when you've been on an aeroplane? Have you seen any curvature?
No.
You?
No.
So you still think you live in a globe?
Yeah, it's just easier to think that.
But I totally appreciate that.
Yeah.
Because that's, you know, the majority of people would be like that. It's just easier to go with the flow.
Yeah.
You know, but you know, people like me don't accept that. I've got a real passion to know where I am. For me,
Good on you.
without me knowing where I am, my whole life, you know, what is it? I mean, it's based on what?
Yeah.
Nonsense. Without having that foundation. So for me, it's something that's really important. But I totally appreciate that.
Each to their own.
Exactly. People are busy with their life. They have stuff that they enjoy, and that keeps them occupied. You know, we're not all the same, but you know, we just wanted to capture, you know, real responses and real reactions. And I couldn't ask for any better. So I really appreciate your time and giving an honest response. I mean, how do you feel about that? Is it making you question, or
it does make you think about it.
Yeah.
Like, do we live in a globe?
Well, what I would say to you is trust your common sense.
Yeah.
Trust your own senses. Don't trust what, you know, an authority tells, because that's a logical fallacy. I'm sure you know what a logical fallacy is. You know, trust your own senses and have a wee look yourself and see what you can find. Because if they tell you that it's a globe, it has to have measurable curvature. Because it's a ball after all. There's zero measurable curvature anywhere. Absolutely none. So that tells me beyond any shadow of a doubt it's not a globe.
Yeah.
You know? So, but as I say, I appreciate you being so honest.
It's alright.
And that's good to know that it's sparked, I mean, particularly yourself. Obviously your common sense, when I say to you about the water, you know, you run a bath, you go to a swimming pool, you go to a lock or a dam, and you know, like the pond there, you know that that to me is just a smaller representation of an ocean. An ocean's no different. The physical properties don't change on scale. You know, it's not like the oceans are made of jelly or souffle where it can curve round the exterior of a ball. Water doesn't behave like that. It doesn't matter who tells you. And it's no scientific unless you can show me it. You know? Would you agree with that? Like, if I say I've got a pink unicorn and you say show me, and I can't show you, are you going to believe that I've got a pink? Of course you're not going to believe it. So it's about common sense. And again, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. The only reason we have up, down, left, right and every other direction is because it starts from a parallel level. If you lived on a sphere, there's no such thing. Every direction you walk is downhill. So if I was to come and meet you and I'm on a sphere, I come and meet you and I've come downhill. But when I get back, I'm still going downhill. It's ridiculous.
You believe though that it's like so like water and then there's like Australia's there, Asia's there, that's what you actually believe? Like
that's reality.
But you actually think that though, that's like
that's reality.
I don't know.
Each to their own.
I don't know. I still need to think about it.
Like here's the thing that's ridiculous. This thing get you, right? So as I say, right, if I say right, there's up, right? We'd agree up. So where is that for somebody in Australia?
It's still up.
Right, but it's down to us. Because if they're down underneath us, standing with their feet parallel to yours, they're ups, you're down, right?
So, but you wouldn't feel like you were upside down if you were in Australia.
But this is the thing. So if we were to drill a hole straight down to Australia, if you believed it was underneath you, and I was to jump in the hole, right, I'm falling down, right? At what point am I not falling down anymore? And then I would...
Well, there's a centre of the earth. It's not supposed to be the centre of the earth.
The furthest I've ever been able to drill down is 8 miles. Furthest Andy's ever been able to drill is 8 miles. It's a place in Ukraine. You can go and look at it.
What's happened after 8 miles?
Nothing, it all breaks, you can't get any further. But they're telling you they can see thousands of miles into this. Here's the thing, there's this molten magnetic core in the middle. You heat a magnet up and melt it. Magnets lose their magnetism when you start to heat them up. Don't believe me, go and look.
I will be Googling it.
Just everything that they told you, go and question it. Just have a look and you'll go, it's fucking bollocks.
Yeah.
As I say, our senses, we have up, down, left, right, every other diagonal direction. That only exists starting from a flat parallel level. You can't have it on a sphere. If you're on a sphere, as I say, every direction you move is downhill. So if you walked all the way to Australia, you'd be going down the globe, and then if you were to come back, you'd still be going down the globe.
No.
Well, subscribe to your YouTube channel anyway.
You'll see it on.
She's already done it.
But you're saying you don't get the continents, but that's what I'm saying to you. There's a large body of water. You know that's absolutely flat and parallel, because that's how water behaves. If I was to bend the sides of that down, what would happen to the water?
I don't know where the heck it goes to.
All water finds and seeks its own level. As soon as it finds that, the surface here will be perfectly level and flat. That's how we used it in construction years and years ago. If I wanted to find if something was level, I would use what? I use spirit levels and stuff. We know all these things. Here's the thing, you know the YouTube channel, right? If you or anybody, because I've had it open for 2 years now, and I've been requesting anybody to come on live on a Saturday night and prove that the Earth's a globe. Do you know how many people have managed to do that?
Find out somehow then. We'll try.
You do your best to prove to me it's a globe, right? Yeah. I hope you can. Because I'm science. If you want me in the camera, if I can, if somebody could prove to me that it certainly was a globe, I would change my mind like that. Because I'm a science guy. If I see proof, I change my mind. It's as simple as that. But unfortunately, I've been trying desperately. Remember, I lived for 37 years believing I lived in a globe. So when I started to question it, I went into a panic. I was fucking freaking out, going, oh God, it has to be. And I searched, there's nothing. It's not a globe.
I don't know.
I'm not convinced.
That's the thing, I don't want to convince you. I don't want to convince you. All I want you to do is to trust your common sense and trust your own senses, and then find out for yourself. If you're curious enough, just go and look at it. Look at everything they tell you. Go to the 10 best proofs we know the Earth's a sphere, and you'll laugh.
I think you both have the same views then, or is it just you?
Well, I met this man because of my channel, and he approached me, and it's the same as everybody else now. People coming forward, left, right and centre. So I say, I don't have a wish for it to be anything.
Yeah.
I didn't ask for that, but I follow science. I always have done my whole life. I've never been religious. Don't believe in fairies and all this stuff. No offence to anybody that does. If I can't measure and test it, it's no reality, right? Now, if I go to try and find proof for a globe and I don't find any proof, it can't be reality.